Hi, this is John Dugan, and you are listening to The Movie Raid.
It's time for The Movie Raid, and tonight's victim is actor John Dugan, who has played in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Deviant Behavior, and many other films. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Fantastic, man. So what have we been up to? Are we working on anything? Are we promoting anything recently? Or are we just kicking back for a while and waiting for Halloween?
We're doing some preliminary work on a film called The Blues Man, which we hope to be rolling on in come January. I did a film a few years ago, but it was several years ago, but it was just released. Rock, Paper, Scissors, directed by Tom Holland, written by Victor Miller, screenwriter, and I play a sociopathic, an abusive uncle. And boy, did I have fun. Let me tell you, Tom Holland he wasn't sure about me, but the producer insisted on me, and Vic Miller insisted on me. Here's that story for you. He had gone to see, it was just shortly before Toby, and so he went to see Toby Hooper, because they were friends, in L.A., and he asked about me. And Toby said, can he handle this role? And Toby said, well, frankly, I just cast him because of his stature. I don't really know. Toby, like 1 foot in the grave practically, still tried to get me shit canned from a job, Thanks, Toby. But I'm looking forward to The Blues Man, which is a horror film that's going to have some great blues in it, some great music. We're shooting in Texas. Deviant Behavior, which is another one I shot in Corpus Christi a couple of years ago, has gotten some rave reviews and has done well on the horror film festival circuit. And I play like an aging asshole, dishonest homicide detective that teams up with his ex-partner, who was shit-canned from the police force, who is now a deadbeat, drunken private investigator to solve a serial killer thing that's happening in their town. It's wicked fun. It's a good movie, but also with a great soundtrack. The guy who played the lead wrote all the music for it. He's one of those guys who can do anything. He's a web designer, a country musician, rock and roll composer, musician, singer.
Actors and other artists, they have up and downs when it comes to working with films and other projects related to film. Do you think an artist have a compliance? Can it be less acknowledged if their success isn't benefited?
Well, it's still a satisfying experience. But if by benefited you mean financially, the way I work, I pretty much know what I'm going to make up front. So it's my choice whether to accept it or not. And, I'm not cheap. But in the independent horror film business, trying to get any sort of a back-end deal, because there is no back-end. To get any kind of meaningful percentage is not worth it. So, just get yourself a decent day rate, make sure that they take good care of you, and, you have a per diem and a nice room. But as far as benefiting from it by getting another job down the road, I think it does. And it's all about that. It's all about emailing a link to your Dropbox address when somebody wants to know, what you can do. There's not a whole lot of flying out to L.A. for a screen test sort of thing going on.
Yeah, and oftentimes, they can succeed from one film, and then they can succeed from another film, even within the same genre, but oftentimes they succeed, let's say, in a comedy-type genre or various other bits and pieces from that genre. They're not exactly...
Yeah, that's the thing, I'm an educated actor. I went to theater school. I studied comedy. I've done several Shakespeare plays. I studied Shakespeare with the dean of my theater school, was the foremost American Shakespearean scholar. So I know what I'm doing. I love the theater and everything, but I have no way to show that. So that's kind of an issue. Well, you get pigeonholed, All I get offered is horror. Hell, I'd love to do a comedy. I would love to do a buddy road comedy, like a wacky action road comedy sort of thing. About a couple of clueless friends who, on a road trip somehow get themselves in a bunch of trouble with mobsters or some shit, something like that. I think would be a lot of fun. Or even a horror comedy buddy road film. I actually pitched that to a writer one time. And he liked the idea, but I never heard anything more from him.
Well, how do you feel like with these next generation filmmakers or even actors themselves, especially that they're in the mid-20s or mid-30s or so forth, are easily benefit for them now?
For performing artists? No, for performers, I don't think it's any easier now than it ever has been. You just have to keep your head down and keep pushing through and, educate yourself and work on your art. And filmmakers, for one thing, with the advent of affordable high-definition digital video equipment, with the affordability of lighting now that they use for high-definition video, which is way different than what we use for film. It has made talented young filmmakers, it is more accessible to them financially. You can buy a really good camera each for $25,000 or something for a car and make payments. You know what I mean? So you can get your ideas and your talent on a decent looking format. However, the opposite side of the coin on that is this also allows no talent fucking idiots. There's a lot more junk now than there's ever been because it's so affordable. Social media and YouTube and Vimeo and stuff like that, they can get seen, and that's unfortunate. It waters down the market so much. It's reality. There's some people I just want to say, don't even. Go find something else. Enjoy watching films and find something else to do, because you either have it or you don't. Or go to school, go to film school, take a basic photography class, for God's sake. Learn lighting and composition. That's all you need to know. Lighting and composition. People have never, they know the first thing about photography. They've never read a book. They just fucking slap one light up and want to roll camera. Yeah, I've had to stop somebody once and say, whoa, you go, we're ready to go. And he had the camera up, and he had one light next to the camera pointing at me. And I went, wait, is what? I said, you're not going to light it? He goes, yeah, I've got this light here. And I said, do you have a lighting kit? He goes, yeah. I said, get it out. And I spent an hour lighting my own scene. I sat down and told the crew what to do. I sat in my spot because I was sitting down behind a desk thing. I played a psychologist. So I was telling the crew what to do. I'd say, bring that over there, now tilt it down to, now hit me here, now I'll put a bounce card over here to fill in my face over here, now hit me from behind here and get the top of my head. I said, okay, now look at the shot. The director looked through it and said, wow. I said, that is important. So I kind of helped him through the whole film. And when he paid me at the end of the whole thing, he says, John, I want to thank you so much. I feel like this was a paid internship for me, paid you to teach me. I was really honored that he said that. I have little patience for people who, or I'll talk to somebody, say at a convention, that comes up to you and says, I've got this movie that got a part I think you'd be great at. And I'll say, oh, well, okay, you have a script? Well, not yet. Okay, so they're saying they got a movie, but they haven't written it yet. They haven't put pencil to paper. They haven't written one word down. Say, well, okay, when you have one, email it to me, and then we can talk. And then they'll want to stand there and tell me their whole film. And then your character, the mean sheriff, pulls out his gun and says, fuck you, motherfucker, and shoots a guy right there in the face. His head explodes, and then and I say, come get back to me when you have a script. And of course they never do. They never get back to me. I don't understand dreamers, but I don't have much tolerance for that. As I'm approaching 70 years of age, I don't have time to fool with stuff like that. Does that sound mean or egomaniacal?
I understand that, because there are a lot of filmmakers that they do, like you mentioned, they do dream and stuff like that, and oftentimes they'll have a poster, a really cool poster, and then they promote the crap out of it, and then they do this and they do this, but there's nothing physical there. It's just a poster, or it's just a t-shirt that they're selling. How can anybody really on the support wagon if there's nothing physical to show? Or let's say it's literally a 6-second trailer that is just literally that footage and nothing else, and let's say a couple weeks to a month's time passes and they still only promote that poster and so forth.
Oh, this happens all the time. They'll start working on fucking music and artwork before they've even raised a goddamn dime towards production. They get so far ahead of themselves,
End of the day or whatever, like they, eventually they'll continue their project and we eventually get to see more physical form and stuff, and that's great. And eventually to get it out there and so forth. But I definitely agree that when you're trying to talk about your ideas and your dreams about your film, have a script, have it presented, and don't just assume that you're going to get other people to be involved with your project without actually giving some physical presentation of evidence of this film that you want to do, because you can't just automatically get accepted and expect, yep, this is how my success is going to work.
Yeah, I had an experience with a guy a few years ago. I think actually he was from Tennessee. from a different part of Tennessee than I am. So I signed on to do this film with him, and this director, he used my name to raise money, and he had a GoFundMe thing and all this stuff, and he got the money together. He had all the money to start rolling, and he and his partners, this production company, decided to use that money to produce another film that they had ready to go that I wasn't in. And they were going to make a bunch of money on that and then come back and make the other one that I was going to, of course they didn't make, and they don't even exist anymore. I was so pissed off.
Yeah, that's terrible that when others are, I don't want to say completely just piggybacking or anything like that, but when, let's say they have talked to you and let's say, oh yeah, he's interested, he likes it, and they start putting that, like a quotation, what you said or something like that, yet you had nothing to do with the project or anything like that, just so they can get people interested in their project. And there are filmmakers out there that do that kind of stuff, or at least, oh, guess who's coming on here, I got big news, and like, you have no news, you're just boosting it up, and again, back to no physical evidence of what this movie is.
Yeah, I really chapped my ass, man. There's a film came out like a couple of years ago, called Crazy Fat Asshole, a straight-to-video thing, that I'd signed on, to do, and my friend Manushka quoted. Marvelous independent actress, she's done a lot of stuff, and she lives in Germany now. I think she left New York and moved back to Germany. I was playing a supporting role, and she was supposed to be one of the leads, one of the female leads in the film. And they never did anything with it, and then it shows up in a can on DVD like last year. I'd forgotten all about it, and of course he used our names to raise the money to make the film, and they use it.
Go and plug in any websites or any projects that you want to promote or anything that we can check out, like right now, or anything that you'd like to add.
I want you to go keep your eyes out for the Blues Man. We're almost ready to roll on this. I think we have one more major announcement of a cast member coming up really quickly. Ed Neal from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Hitchhiker, and I are both in it. There's a lot of really decent blues musicians involved. This is going to be a rockin' good film. I just am really impressed with the producers, the director, the writer who's also playing the lead, one of the lead bad villains. What it's about is a couple of just asshole felons that one of the things they do is they rob graves and, get gold teeth and jewelry and shit like that. And I played the local pawn shop owner who fences their stuff for them. When they happen to rob this grave, that is Robert Johnson, the blues musician, the father of the blues, who sold his soul to the devil at the crossroads. It's his grave. The story unfolds gets worse from there. It's going to be pretty damn bloody. It's well written. We're going to have a great cast. I'm impressed with the director and the writer, and it'd be nice to be going back to Texas. And the music's going to be fantastic. I'm psyched. I'm so psyched to be on location with all these neat people for a couple weeks. And I really, really am proud of Uncle Charles of Rock, Paper, Scissors. I'd love people to support us on. Find it streaming. I think it's on Amazon Prime. It's available on DVD, and I don't know if it's on Blu-ray yet. And also Deviant Behavior, because a rockin' good time. A really well done horror film, sort of a cop drama horror, sexual serial killer, fucking weird ass cross-dressing bad guy that I think any hardcore horror film will love. So those are the three things I'm pushing right now.
And there you have it, everybody. That is actor John Dugan.
So long. Thank you.